Fellas, what is going on? And Broncos Country, remember this. Defense wins championships because that is what the Broncos need for this season. And if that holds up, the Broncos are winning the Super Bowl this year because, as Alex Singleton said in the locker room after the game with a massive smile, we have the best defense in the league, and boy, did we see that on display today. In fact, Alex Singleton went a step further. He said we shouldn't have allowed a touchdown to that team. Riley Moss said that's what makes this Broncos defense elite is they are striving for perfection week in and week out, day in and day out, not just on Sunday, but on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Monday, and boy, did it look like that. They destroyed Geno Smith. Literally the second week in a row, they have now hit a quarterback so hard that he's been out of the game, at least for a portion of the game. And this defense, man, they are feeling it. And the mood in the locker room, Ryan, you asked it, it was different. On one side, you had a very happy defense. They just did an incredible job. Won a game, gave up 7 points, held the team to less than 200 yards of offense, and just was dominant. Literally set a record for most sacks by a team through the first 10 games of a season since 1989 with their 46 sacks. In fact, that's 2 more than has ever been had in the last 35 plus years. That's how good this defense is. On the flip side, though, the offense, 10 points, just enough to get it done. And honestly, 3 of those points might have been because of special teams. So the offense trying to stay calm about where they are right now. But I'll tell you what, guys, talking to Bo and Sean, it might be the most down I've heard them on the offense, as it should be. That was not acceptable. You lose. You get crushed to the Chiefs if you bring that offense here to Mile High in 10 days from now. You can't have that, but they didn't play the Chiefs. They played the Raiders and got the win. So Sean Payton at the podium, said it was a real good win, said the defense was fantastic, but guys, he was not pleased with himself. A couple of times he pointed the finger at himself, which again, you don't hear all that often with Sean Payton. And just said simply the offense needs to be better. They certainly do. This was the most down I've heard Bo after a game. I don't think he wanted to talk to the media after that performance, and he was not pleased with himself. Courtland Sutton, I don't believe talked. I think got out of there because everyone was focused on the defense, so it wasn't anything wrong with Courtland, but don't think we got to talk to Courtland. We did talk to Pat Bryant. He was asked how the offense is doing. He said, we're doing enough to win. We're putting enough points on the board now. And he said there are things that he needs to change, including the penalties. And that was something that Sean Payton really focused on with the offensive side was the penalties, guys. 11 penalties. Last week, the Broncos were better on the penalty side, but we got right back to the bad penalty Broncos. That has to change. The offense has to get better. But a win is a win. They're the best seed in the AFC. They're the best record in the entire NFL. These are the problems you want to have. You want to have winning problems, and that's what the Broncos have right now, led by the best defense in the NFL.
Champagne problems.
Zach, man.
That's what they got on the defensive side.
Zach, man, curious to know, did Sean talk anything about special teams and what was going on with Crawshaw today and the punt unit? Like, obviously you have the block punt, but special teams seems to be a concern. Will Lutz with the field goal comes up very short. So did he talk about that at all?
Yeah, he did talk about special teams. And Benny, there are no excuses for Jeremy Crawshaw. As much as people might want to be like, maybe the wind got to it, Sean said, nope, that wasn't the case. The case was with him dropping the ball. And he talked just this past week about how important dropping the ball is for punters. And then that's exactly what he pointed to for Jeremy Crawshaw. So he has to get that fixed again. You have special teams like that outside of the block punt. You have offense like that. You are going to lose to the good teams in the NFL. Fortunately, they did not play against one of those teams, so they were able to get away with it. When it came to the field goal, Sean said in hindsight, he wouldn't have done that, and he shouldn't have done that because that came up way short. And, guys, that came off of the third down play, which we'll get to in a second because Sean Payton talked about that one. But the block field goal was the block punt was everything. That gave the Broncos the 3 points they needed to win the game. Too many times did the Broncos were in position to score to get even more points on the board, and they went backward due to those penalties, due to a couple of uncharacteristic sacks from Bo Nix and the offensive line. No one really on offense played good today, but the special teams, in a crazy way, won the game for them at the very end with that block punt, thanks to J.L. Skinner's face mask. And that's the first block punt for the Broncos since 2018. And boy, did it come at a good time. But special teams overall was not good enough, and neither was the offense. And let's just talk about that third down play call. You have 3rd and 1. You're in field goal range. And instead of running the ball up the gut or running it to the outside or throwing a quick slant to Cortland Sutton or something like that, you try a trick play where you throw the ball backward to Cortland Sutton, who was then intending to throw the ball forward. And Sean was asked about that and said, we've had that one in the bag for a long time, and the Raiders just made a good play, and then gave credit to Cortland Sutton for not throwing the ball there because the play was blown up, but didn't take much responsibility. Instead, gave the responsibility to gave the credit to the Raiders for blowing that play up.
All right, Zach. Zach, the bus just pulled up from the tailgate, so we're not going to be able to hear you probably for a little bit. But I know that people want to hear. Well, maybe they do, maybe they don't. After a lot of games this year, there has been confidence poured into Bo Nix by his teammates. What was kind of the mood in the locker room talking about Bo tonight?
Yeah, all the confidence was about the defense, Ryan. And so I think that tells you what you need to know about this performance. And like I said, Bo Nix and Sean Payton, this is the most down I've heard them about the offense after a game. And again, it probably should be. Bo was not good. He did not have the special fourth quarter that everyone was hoping and expecting by the time the first 3 quarters looked bad. Guys, the Broncos had 13 offensive drives. 9 of them did not get a first down. That is disgusting. You cannot have that, and it has to get fixed, and it has to get fixed in a hurry right now. And Sean Payton is going to give the guys and the coaches and the players the weekend off, but they know when they get back in here, they have to turn things around, turn things up. And Ryan, because I don't want to forget to mention this, Sean Payton gave a baffling answer when he was asked about just what happened on the offensive side of the ball. He said on 3rd down, and I don't know if he was joking about this because it was, I was confused by it. He was asked about what happened on the offense, and he said, on 3rd downs, I was looking at the wrong side of the play sheet for my 3rd down calls too often. And again, I think it's a joke, but I honestly don't know. Like, if he has 2 different 3rd downs that he likes to look at, one's on the other side, one's on another. But the offense was that bad where I believe it if it wasn't a joke, because it was that bad. It has to get fixed. So maybe Sean needs to put them all together. I'm not exactly sure.
So you said Sean is going to give the guys the day off tomorrow and the entire weekend, or they're in tomorrow and then giving them Saturday and Sunday off?
No, they get tomorrow off, they get Saturday off, they get Sunday off. It's a long weekend. Sean Payton does this, and I also expect him to give the Broncos the entire bye week off. He believes in that. It's kind of an Andy Reid thing as well of giving players the entire week off, and so he is going to give these guys the entire weekend off, including tomorrow, despite the offensive performance.
Zach, I don't have anything else, man. There's not much to ask you right now, brother.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, the Broncos are the number 1 seed in the AFC. They've got the best record in the NFL. Defense wins championships, and you've got wins or wins. We're going to forget this one. Hopefully we're not reminded of it in 10 days when the Kansas City Chiefs come to town and we're saying, what the heck was going on with that offensive performance? And one more thing for you guys. I want to end on this because it kind of sums up how Sean Payton's feeling right now about the Broncos. So there's that Bill Parcells quote. You are what your record says you are. And so Sean Payton, being a Bill Parcells guy, likes that quote. He was asked about it a couple of weeks ago and said, yep, we're 7-2. I think he was asked about it just 4 days ago. Said, yep, we're 7-2. That's who we are. Today, he was asked by our friend reporter Evan. So Sean, you're 8-2, and Sean interrupted and said, no buts. We're 8-2. That's it. You're not going to go on and ask a but there. We are 8-2. We need to get better. We're not satisfied with where we are, but we are 8-2. And then he went on to say, we've got 8 wins. I don't think anyone else has 8 wins. So Sean was in full form, although he did point the finger at himself, which is pretty notable a couple of times. Hopefully we get that play sheet figured out right there. I'm getting some intel from our guys Nick and RG that maybe he was referring to 3rd and longs as opposed to 3rd and shorts, and he was looking at the wrong one each time. It doesn't matter. He needs to get that figured out. The Broncos offense needs to get better. But the Broncos won. They've got a 7-game win streak going on right now. The hottest team in the NFL, 8-2. Let's enjoy this weekend. And then, boy, we got the Chiefs on deck, baby. That's going to be such an electric game. The Broncos are 4-0 in their throwbacks right now. Let's be pumped. Let's enjoy this because the Broncos are finally back. 8-2, baby. Let's go.
Let's go, Zach. Appreciate you. 8 wins, no buts. 8 wins, no buts.
That's right.
All right.
That's right.
There he is, Zach Stevens.
Great to see you, Zach.
Get home safe, Zach.
See
We
you, fellas.
appreciate you.